What's up, guys? So obviously we had a big bounce in the markets. If you guys recall in the past videos, we were talking about a reversal to the means for Bitcoin, and we basically had it. I talked about it in my last video. Now, as we speak, the Fear and Greed Index is at 65. At this point, I'm not sure how accurate the Fear and Greed Index is anymore, but nonetheless, it's still a important metric just to keep an eye on. So looking at the price action of Bitcoin, as mentioned in the prior video, guys, that red box right here, which is a supply zone, is probably the most important levels that you need to pay attention at this moment. This level right now, I think it's the fourth time that we've been rejected. Obviously, for us to really push higher and get to that 81, 85K, which is my short, medium term price target for Bitcoin, we are obviously going to have to break above this and also retest it most likely and hold it as the new support. So right now, guys, we're right back at the reversal of the means, which is the green line right here. And now hopefully we will be able to break this supply zone where there's a lot of selling pressure and go higher to the purple line, which is the second standard deviation. So this is the meme for this video, right? So we survived this first correction, and always remember that in every crypto cycle, there's always a first correction, and in my humble opinion, I think we just had it after the halving. So for all the OGs of this channel, shout out to you guys. I appreciate the views. If you guys recall, I still believe that we're in the stage 4 of the Bitcoin cycle. In my humble opinion, I think that in the next coming months, we'll eventually be able to break that purple line right here and start the parabolic rally stage of Bitcoin. Just a quick reminder, don't be this guy. All right, so we just had the correction. Now we're right back almost to all-time highs. We're at the means. It was a good buying opportunity, but most people, again, didn't buy and they all thought it was the end of the world. All right, so now let's get serious. Enough with the memes. So looking at the inflows of accumulative address, guys, we can see that they bought the dip. Whales and big accounts that have been stacking Bitcoin for a very long time were buying the dip during the correction we just had. So that's a very bullish signal. Looking at the crypto bread, also we're still, at reasonable level. Obviously, we had the rebound from when I was basically telling you guys that it was a good time to be buying the dip. And right now we're about 50% in the recovery, which again seems to be pointing that the pain trade is still to the upside for crypto. And looking at the altcoin season indicator, we can see that we're still in reasonable ranges. Even though we had a nice bounce overall in the broad crypto market, we're still at some reasonable levels where the pain trade should be to the upside, which would coincide with the altcoin hype cycle by Rec Capital. So we're basically right here. So we had that big correction across most altcoins. And now, in my humble opinion, we're about to basically enter this stage right here. So if I'm right, guys, hopefully your financial situation looks a little bit like mine. So basically this is what my bank account basically looks like, if you were wondering. More good news, looking at the long-term holder SOPR, we can see that we are still in a uptrend, and that during this correction we just had, we bottomed and we bounced on the 200 moving average. So this is again very bullish, basically confirming that we're still in an uptrend, still in a bull market, until obviously the trend reverse and we start going down. That's when we start entering a bear market. All right, so now we're gonna talk about what's the most important thing to really understand when it comes to trading the markets, in my opinion. And it's basically just understanding the landscape, what's going on with macro and what's going on with the bigger picture trades for the broad markets. At the end of the day, if you don't understand what's going on with liquidity and seasonality for the broad markets in general, you most likely won't make it very far trading crypto. The first thing that you keep hearing me talk about is liquidity. And I already showed this screenshot from the M2 money supply, and obviously we are now positive. So there's positive momentum coming back into the money supply, which is a good thing for risk assets like Bitcoin. And then again, guys, looking at the seasonality patterns for election years, you can see that we're about to enter this stage right here, which is basically a beautiful move to the upside into this summer. So hopefully I end up being right, so we can all, go on vacation and spend time on things we actually love. And then just zooming in for the month of June specifically. So if we look at the data from Almanac Trader, we can see that basically June is a positive month, but it's also kind of a slow grind to the upside month. All right, so I'm almost finished, guys. This is the most important part of the video, so hopefully you're still around so we can all make as much money as possible for the year of 2024, which in my humble opinion is a year where you really want to be focusing on the markets to make as much money as possible to then enjoy 2025. So I'm going to show you guys the top indicators that I love using on the medium term to see when we're about to have a pullback, when it's a good time for me to add risk or to de-risk. So this is my number one pick right here. So again, every time we're below this blue line, which is the moving average, it's a good time to buy Bitcoin when we're in an uptrend, obviously. And as you guys can see, we basically had the correction in the price of Bitcoin, then we went below the blue line, and now we just basically regained the blue line. So this is another very bullish signal for me. It's basically telling me that we have a lot of energy left to go to the upside. So as you guys can see, we're not stretched from the momentum whatsoever. We're basically just at the means, chilling. So here, this is a buy signal. And when we're at the blue line, which is the means, that's a hold. And then we'll end up eventually having a nice leg up. And then that will end up triggering a sell signal when we get really extended from the blue line. Also, another medium term indicator I really like using just to see the amount of fraud in the market is basically this short term holder realized price and loss margin. It basically shows you how much margin there is betting on Bitcoin. And as you guys can see, every time we get to these levels right here, we end up having some nice corrections. At the moment, we basically were slightly negative, which is very good. That's also a very good time to buy Bitcoin when this indicator goes into the negative territory. And as you guys can see right now, we're just basically chilling here in the no man's land, which is really good. It's basically telling us that there's a lot of liquidity and margin that could come in the crypto market to push prices higher. And then I like combining those two indicators I just showed you with this very simple short-term holder SOPR. So this basically shows you when the money is FOMOing and entering at the worst possible time. And those end up being some local tops, right? So right here we had a spike and then, it ended up being a local top. This indicator, it's very simple, but it's also very reliable just to kind of show you, hey, is it a good time for you to FOMO right now? Maybe not. When you start seeing a spike like this of the money buying, it's probably not a good idea for you to also be buying in the same time that they're buying. All right, guys, so that was it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, you learned some good stuff. And I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the views. I really appreciate it. For me, it's a lot of views, especially I don't do any promotion of my videos. I just post them. So I really appreciate that. So hopefully you are enjoying the content. So feel free to comment down below if there's other things you would want me to talk about or go in more in details, right? So for me now, I'm done with this video. I'm gonna go walk outside, get some sun. All right, so take care and have a blessed one. See you in the next video.